Hi, my name's Dr. Allen and I'm a GP. So, you may have heard that you shouldn't Google your symptoms and your medical problems, but you may have also been told that you should Google your medical problems. So, what should you do? And as a GP, I would like to explain. Now, this video was inspired by a patient that I saw who kind of very apologetically and slightly embarrassed told me that he'd been learning about his diabetes online, and he said, I know that you shouldn't be Googling about my health problems. Yet he found out information that was really valuable to him, and it made me realize that we've got some quite mixed messages. And so this is what I'm hoping to do, is to help you to understand when is a great time to use it and when is not a good time to use it, and when you do use it, how to use it well. So the main problem with using the internet is around your health is when you try and diagnose yourself. So let me explain the main way that we diagnose patients. We don't use a list of symptoms like you might find on the internet. We usually diagnose patients by looking out for a recognized pattern of symptoms, including the particular way that they unfold for a condition. In our minds, we also consider the likelihood of a different condition that might occur for the particular patient that we have, all of which is rarely clear on the internet. So imagine that you saw an animal or a car that you didn't recognise and you tried to use Google to try and find out what it was. I think that would be fairly hopeless to be able to try and do that. But if you saw an animal or a car that you did know, you would recognise it in seconds and you would probably know what it was called, and you could find out more information about it online if you wanted to. For us, diagnosing conditions is similar to how you may recognise animals or cars. We become experts in pattern recognition, but lists of symptoms could be very misleading. So how can the internet be helpful? If you have a diagnosis, it becomes a doorway to excellent web pages and support groups. So it's really important to ask your health professional what the diagnosis is if you've got a health problem, or a list of your diagnoses. And it'd be even better if you could get this written down. I've been surprised how often people don't know the name of a particular condition that they've got medications for. So getting the name of it is really important. If you understand your medical conditions and you know how to manage them, sometimes that can make even more difference than the medications. Online, you can find practical tips to manage symptoms, ideas, and support in making healthy changes, or find people with similar struggles. But how do you know which websites are reliable? Well, even doctors use Google, but there are skills involved in knowing how to search and how to assess the quality of the information that you find. Most reliable is to go to the NHS Online. It's a huge collection of trusted information. There's a Health A to Z, which covers hundreds of conditions, symptoms and treatments. And there's a Medicines A to Z, which shows how medications work, how to take them, side effects, and answers to common questions. There are sections on how to live well, mental health, pregnancy, assessing for social support, and getting other NHS services. When doing other searches, there's no rules that guarantee you'll find good information. And if NHS Online isn't enough, here are some tips that may help you get a better chance. If you find the tips complicated, it might be best just to stick to the nhs.co.uk. So, put NHS into the search. There are leaflets and websites that are produced by NHS providers that can be trusted, such as hospitals. The term patient information can be helpful too. A second tip is consider what organisations outside the NHS can be trusted. So, for example, large UK charities with a good reputation, such as Age UK or British Heart Foundation or Macmillan. Number 3, registered national societies and associations often have trusted patient resources. For example, the British Association of Dermatologists for Skin Conditions. I will leave a website that's got a list of examples of these societies and associations in the description at the end. Sticking to UK websites would be my 4th tip. Other countries have got a variety, variability, quality of health information and standards. But if you can put UK in the search or use a search engine that ends in .co.uk and change the settings to UK only, then this could be helpful. My tip 5 would be to consider the purpose behind the website. For example, an NHS or a charity organisation will usually be trying to improve people's lives, but if an organisation can make money from you in some way, it's possible that this could affect the information that they're giving you. Number 6 is to be aware of when something is simply opinion. Anything written by an individual on social media, a blog, a chat or support group or a web page may just be an opinion because it lacks that accountability. Organisations with a good reputation are careful to display facts accurately, but individuals giving opinions may not always be so careful. And opinions from a registered health professional is more likely to be reliable. So my tip 7 will be to avoid websites that give advice that conflicts with NHS information. So occasionally new ideas do emerge that challenge medical science and later become proven to be safe and effective. For example, acupuncture. However, there's lots of unscientific advice that does not work and can be harmful. Therefore, I'd recommend that you avoid advice that strays from that's given by registered health professionals. The endings of the web addresses can give you clues to the organisation. So if it ends nhs.net, then that's NHS. If it's .org, that's usually not for profit. .co.uk is usually profit in the UK. And .com is usually not UK based and is often for profit, and that might be best avoided. My tip 9 would be to be aware that search results can be mixed in with adverts. So just be aware of that and avoid the adverts. And then finally, patient.co.uk is a very good website. It's very broad, lots of health problems, and that would be another good alternative if the NHS online didn't give you the information that you wanted. So, in summary, for working out the diagnosis, that is best left to health professionals. However, if you have a diagnosis, this is your key to learn more about your health so you can take a lead in managing it. So use NHS Online. If you're going to do web searches, first aim for NHS websites, large charities or registered societies. Be careful with individual opinions, although registered health professionals are more likely to be trusted. So I hope that's been helpful.